The Dark Knight has gained immense fame that is incomparable to any other superhero due to his intelligence, prowess in stealth and combat, and sheer perseverance. Apart from the above specialities, he is also famous for one more thing. That is his less talk, more work attitude. However, that doesn't mean you can defeat the Caped Crusader in a battle of words either.
Shazam's powers are based in magic. With as much as you've seen, can you rule it out?
The criminally insane don't need magic as an excuse. I recommend spending more time on the streets instead of flying over them.
He's even friendlier than they say.
Because if it turns to such a thing, he only needs one line.
Why? Because of your guilt?
You didn't kill Superman. At some point, even you have to learn to move on.
Did Steve Trevor tell you that?
This video analyzes the incidents which left his opponents bewildered in front of the staggering words of wit and sometimes threat, too.
This guy's gonna kill us!
No, he won't. You bruise, but you don't kill, do you? Clark.
The difference between you and me. In the movie Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, we meet a near counterpart of Batman, who is the main strategist of the team Crime Syndicate. Notorious by the name Owlman is the brain behind the Crime Syndicate of America and lover of Superwoman. While skilled in combat and have an exceptional intellect just like our Batman, Owlman has an enormous ego. His despise towards man being able to exercise free will without thinking about its consequences has also stemmed from his judgmental mentality. Therefore, to cure the universe from the cancer named man, he decides to erase all realities, killing everyone with it. In the last battle, which took place in Earth Prime, where freedom to choose was born, Batman goes up against Owlman. Even in that situation, Owlman tries to read and decode Batman to convince Batman that he can predict the Dark Knight easily.
You should have sent your flying man. With his strength, he might have had a chance, but you don't trust anyone else to do what needs to be done. I feel the same way.
If we're really alike, you know this is wrong. You must have been a good man once.
However, that didn't stop Batman from fighting for what's right. And amidst the battle and at the end of the battle, Batman delivers the last line.
There is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
One last riddle. One among the few intellectually challenging villains in Batman's streak, Riddler has a fascinating story to share. Although he started as a math genius and puzzle-solving enthusiast, Edward Nygma, however, didn't receive the credibility he deserved from neither society nor his family. This prompted him to use his intelligence to seek the attention of society and gain riches through unlawful methods. Yet, even to his amazement, he receives the ticket to work in Gotham University. The research facility was the perfect stage for him to show his expertise. There, he also found his love, Julie, a talented and beautiful woman. Nevertheless, the season of spring didn't last long in the life of Edward, and soon he lost everything which and who were dear to him. Once he tried to climb out of the pit and become a law-abiding person, but society didn't allow him.
I was ruined, and in that one moment I lost my last chance to what? To not be the Riddler.
And now he will no longer try to get out, but will turn that pit into a massive maze and rule the world below ground. He won't hesitate to punish those who did unjust to him. But the truth was far from what we thought. Even the great Riddler was in the dark until Batman, the world's greatest detective, showed him the truth. It is at that moment Batman delivers his true thoughts on a villain regardless of how the world sees one. One man and one punch. The one man whose superpowers cannot be perceived by our five senses is bestowed by Hal Jordan the Ring of Will to save the galaxy after the defeat of the Lantern Corps. Batman bears the symbol of will and assembles the most peculiar squad to confront the mighty Despero. It is no easy task managing a group that consists of the deceitful Sinestro, unruly Guy, and sentimental Gnort. To keep the team functioning and to save the galaxy, Batman takes the reins to hand. At one time, it's his wit and hit that tames Guy Gardner.
From here on in, Guy Gardner's working alone.
You so much as sneeze without my permission, you're going to regret it.
That I'd like to see! One punch! One punch!
And another time, it's his thrust and trust that gives Gnort the courage and confidence.
I don't know if I can do this, Mr. Batman, sir. Everybody knows I'm just a screw-up. My ringy-ding ain't got much power left.
It's not the ring, it's the man.
I'm not exactly a man, but hey, if a guy like you's got faith in me, then I'll give it my best shot.
It's shown that sometimes words of faith can give you hope in the absence of evident proof. The legend lives on. Honestly speaking, many of us like to see our Batman in his late 20s or early 30s. We consider it the prime of his crime fighting. However, aging is universal, and everyone is bounded by that, unless you are an immortal like Wonder Woman. In the Batman TV series, we get to witness the future middle-aged Batman, now out of shape and a little bit cranky compared to his handsome V-shaped figure and solidified stature. Nevertheless, when it comes to upholding justice, Batman makes sure not to disappoint criminals at all. The Time Freeze 2.0 tried to turn Gotham into an ice age was catastrophic, yet even at that moment, Batman and family fought to their dying breath. Freeze was skillful, but Batman was clever.
Thanks for the ice pack, Freeze. All you did was numb the pain.
What gave Freeze unprecedented powers that are on par with Greek god Boreas, who is the god of North Wind, was used against him by the man-god Batman.
Diamonds cut even the hardest glass. How's that for poetic justice?
How did you know? We all know the Dark Knight prefers to work alone, but that doesn't mean he is not a team player. Because when it comes to team play, there is no other member who knows how to work in perfect sync with other members and knows everything about them, including the things we refer to as secrets. To Batman, those things are knowledge and experience. When Gorilla Grodd succeeded in sowing discord among League members, Batman too had to go in his separate way. Yet when Flash called for help, he came to aid, because he knew Flash more than we thought.
Looks like I didn't need you after all, yo. But you can help me tie him up.
Catch. The real Flash would have been too fast for that.
What gave me away?
You overplayed your part, yo.
It was never a lie. We have witnessed the witty lines of Batman that made the other party go speechless.
I don't need an ethics lesson from a nut dressed up like a bat.
Too bad. You just got one.
But it's not always wit he delivered through his shell-shocking remarks. Sometimes those one-liners spoke to your heart more than to your brain. When the whole League was at a crossroads whether to discharge Captain Marvel from his position in the League or not, it was Batman who stood up for him and defended him amidst others' opposition. Wonder Woman's accusations were quite convincing, as the viewers were in belief until we heard the truth.
No one in the League knew the truth.
I did.
I shouldn't be surprised, since you indoctrinated Robin into crime fighting at the ripe old age of 9.
Robin needed to help bring the men who murdered his family to justice.
So he could turn out like you?
So that he wouldn't.
Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Before you leave, please comment your ideas and honest criticism. Your feedback helps me to create more quality videos. Thank you for watching.